Hi, it's me, Tim Dodd, the Everyday Astronaut. Elon Musk revealed the update to SpaceX's highly anticipated and ambitious rocket, the BFR, or Big Falcon rocket. It sports a slimmer and more practical design than what they revealed just last year. SpaceX is planning on the BFR becoming their new workhorse, capable of deploying huge satellites, servicing the ISS, and even sending humans to the moon and back in order to continue funding their Mars ambitions. Believe it or not, the tooling has begun, and SpaceX says they'll be ready for Mars by 2022. Let's take a deeper look at SpaceX's plans and compare this year's versions of BFR to last year's version. Let's get started.
3, 2, 1, 0, and liftoff. One small step for man.
Almost exactly 1 year prior, on September 27, 2016, Elon Musk took the stage at the International Astronautical Congress, or IAC, in Guadalajara, Mexico, to show the world just how serious SpaceX's Mars ambitions are. The rocket was gargantuan. Standing at 122 meters, or 400 foot tall, the BFR was to be the world's tallest and most powerful rocket ever produced, standing a full 12 meters, or 37 feet taller than the famous Saturn V moon rocket. Although the plan was well thought out and fairly technical, there was one giant question mark in the presentation. How do you fund this endeavor? Having given up on stealing underpants and Kickstarter, SpaceX came to this year's IAC in Adelaide, Australia with the answer. Make a smaller, but still huge rocket that's capable of servicing greater Earth activity with a new workhorse rocket that makes their current Falcon 9, Falcon Heavy, and Dragon capsule obsolete. Basically, they took a rocket that was very good at sending a ton of people to Mars, and they made it smaller so it could be used for various applications. SpaceX currently makes the majority of their money by launching satellites for customers and by resupplying the International Space Station with cargo and soon crew. In a surprise twist, we learned that the BFR spaceship will be capable of docking with the ISS. This kind of reminds me how the space shuttle used to dock with the ISS. But the real key to making the BFR cheaper than a Falcon 9 or Falcon Heavy is, of course, reusability. Full reusability. We might get sick of hearing how SpaceX is trying to make using rockets similar to airliners, but that really is the key. Elon drilled in this concept when he mentioned it'd be like buying a small single-engine turboprop plane for $1.5 million just to get to Australia and throw it away, versus chartering a 747 for $500,000. Why would you throw away a small vehicle when reusing a big one makes more sense? The cost of fuel, even for a huge jet, is still much less than building a small plane. That's exactly the concept at play here. Refueling a huge rocket that's fully reusable is much more economical over the long run than throwing away or even partially reusing smaller rockets. While we're talking about planes, perhaps the biggest surprise was the serious consideration of using the BFR for point-to-point transportation on Earth. That's right, SpaceX envisions being able to go to any destination on Earth in under an hour, with most long-distance trips taking less than 30 minutes, all for the cost of a full-price economy plane ticket. Whoa. Let's not forget to mention that they still plan to have no landing legs on the first stage booster. Elon specified that the BFR plans to land back on its launch mounts at the launch pad. Double whoa. So now we need to talk size. Let's do a side-by-side comparison of old versus new, and throw in a few other rockets for comparison. The new BFR stands 106 meters or 347 feet tall, versus the old BFR, which stood 122 meters or 400 feet tall. And again, let's compare that to the Saturn V for reference, which stood 110 meters or 363 feet tall, and SpaceX's soon-to-fly heavy-lift rocket, the Falcon Heavy, which is 70 meters or 229 feet tall. The next thing we need to notice is that the new BFR appears to have gone on a diet, as it now comes in at just 9 meters or 29.5 feet wide, which is down from the previous BFR, which was 12 meters or 39 feet wide. The Saturn V's first and second stages were 10 meters or 33 feet wide, and the Falcon Heavy will have 3.7 meter or 12 foot wide cores. Next, let's talk about the number of engines on the vehicle. The new BFR has 31 Raptor engines versus the old BFR's 42, the Saturn V's 5 F1 engines, and the Falcon Heavy's 27 Merlin engines. How about thrust, you say? The new BFR has an impressive 48 meganewtons of thrust at liftoff, which is actually way down compared to the old BFR, which claimed 128 meganewtons of thrust. Both are more powerful than the Saturn V, which had 35 meganewtons, and the Falcon Heavy, which will have 22 meganewtons. Notice it appears the Raptor engine got downgraded. It's producing about half as much thrust as was claimed to have just last year. But the good news is, they've test fired the Raptor engine 42 times for a total of 1,200 seconds, with the longest test lasting a full 100 seconds. They're getting very close to reaching the flight capability of the Raptor, and I'm really glad to see they're moving along aggressively with its development. I suspect they'll continue to push the Raptor engine just like they keep pushing the Merlin engine, and they'll continue to wow us with its performance. Lastly, payload capacity to low Earth orbit. The new BFR can put 150 tons into orbit while fully reusable, compared with the old BFR, which could do 300 tons fully reusable. The Saturn V, which was fully expendable, could loft 135 tons, and the Falcon Heavy, which is partially reusable, will be capable of 54 tons. Now on to the upper stage or spaceship portion of the BFR. Interestingly, the new ship is almost the same height as the old one, standing at 48 meters or 157 feet tall, versus 49.5 meters or 162 feet tall. The new BFR spaceship is 9 meters wide, compared to the old one, which was 12 meters, but flared all the way out to 17 meters or 55 feet wide. The new BFR spaceship will have 4 vacuum-optimized Raptor engines and 2 sea-level engines, versus the old BFR spaceship, which was to have 6 vacuum engines and 3 sea-level engines. One fun change is that all the engines on the new BFR spaceship are capable of gimbaling or steering, something that only the sea-level engines on the old one were capable of. Another interesting note is how they plan to refuel the spaceship. Elon showed off an impressive in-space, butt-to-butt fuel procedure. They can easily transfer fuel between ships by thrusting in one direction to move the fuel from one ship to the other. The cool takeaway from this is that the ships will connect to the same fuel lines that connect the upper stage to the BFR booster on the pad. So it sounds like all the fuel umbilicals will run up the length of the booster and not require a separate umbilical from the tower to the upper stage. Very cool. Now the elephant in the room we need to address. The Delta Wings.
Oh, those Delta Wings are so 80s.
See those stubby little wings on the aft end of the vehicle? Well, they're actually extremely important for balancing the spaceship throughout re-entries for different atmospheres, aka landing on Earth and Mars. They also help provide more surface area to increase the drag and control in the atmosphere. Elon's always been critical of wings on spaceships since, well, wings in space are useless because there's no air in space. That being said, the laws of physics must ultimately be obeyed, and it looks like the best plan moving forward is Delta Wings. SpaceX even calculated that this new design allows them to remove 99% of their Mars intercept energy using the thin Martian atmosphere to slow the vehicle down. Before you all cry that the BFR is smaller and less capable than what we were expecting, let's get to the good news. It's happening. And soon. SpaceX plans to try to send their first BFRs to Mars in 2022. That's right, just 5 years from now. And then just 2 years later, they hope to send people to Mars. Now, do take into account the so-called Elon time, or his extreme optimism. But even so, you can tell they're super serious about pushing this as quickly as possible. This is exactly why they stopped planning to send their Dragon capsule to Mars, something we talked about in my last video. So in summary, what did we learn from Elon's 2017 IAC talk? Well, we can tell SpaceX put even more thought and development into the BFR rocket, and that this new iteration is even more refined, focused, and practical than before. Now, some of you may think this new plan is a cop-out from their previous plans, but let's not forget, this will be the biggest and most powerful rocket to fly ever. SpaceX is doubling down on reusability in a big way. Having proven they know how to reliably recover the first stage of their Falcon 9 rocket, they now have the confidence to move forward with a new generation of rocket that is massive, jack of all trades, and most importantly, fully reusable. Now a bit of speculation here, but with NASA starting to talk about a space station around the moon, and with a potential new moon economy booming in the near future, I think Elon will drive SpaceX to follow the money, ensuring his vision of Mars is achieved, even if it means moon first for now. And lastly, what about feasibility? Do I really think SpaceX is capable of doing this? Yeah, I do. SpaceX has proven over and over their ability to do the once thought impossible. From being the first private company to get a liquid-fueled rocket into orbit, then later being the first private company to dock with the International Space Station, and now they land first-stage boosters like it's nothing. They've hit home run after home run. But do I think we'll see humans exiting a SpaceX spaceship in 2024? Unlikely. I mean, there's always unforeseen delays in development, and 2024 just leaves no room for error. However, I do think it'll happen by 2030, and if so, let's throw a huge party. So what do you think? Do you think this new version is more realistic, or do you think they're taking the easy way out? Well, let me tell you now, there's nothing easy about developing the world's biggest and most powerful rocket with 31 all-new methane-powered engines and an entirely carbon fiber structure capable of sending 100 humans to the surface of Mars and back, all within a decade. But I'm sure you have plenty of thoughts on how, when, and if this will happen. Leave them in the comments below. That being said, remember, I host SpaceX launches starting about 30 minutes before liftoff here on YouTube. So come ask questions and join in the conversation live. A big, huge thank you to my Patreon supporters for helping make this and other Everyday Astronaut content possible. I owe a special thanks for those of you who stayed up late with me to help me script and research, although some of you were just up because it's like the middle of the day or early morning. But if you want to help contribute, please visit patreon.com/everydayastronaut. Thank you. Don't forget to check out my web store for shirts, hats, prints, mugs, and lots of other fun stuff at everydayastronaut.com/shop. And as always, all the music in my videos is original. Feel free to check it out and download it for free at soundcloud.com/everydayastronaut. Thanks everybody, that does it for me. I'm Tim Dodd, the Everyday Astronaut, bringing space down to Earth for everyday people.